Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and potential vice presidential candidate JD Vance goes on to Wolf Blitzer's show on CNN and absolutely makes him eat his words. I am here for every second of this, and before we dive in, this channel is sponsored by Colonial Metals Group. If you want to protect your wealth against Bidenomics and Bidenflation, you need to talk to the experts over at Colonial Metals Group who will help diversify your account.
This judge committed multiple elements of reversible error, and he did it while his daughter has made a ton of money off of Democratic candidates and while he himself donated to the Biden campaign.
So let me repeat the question.
You cannot say that this trial was anything more than politics masquerading as justice. And yes, I will help Donald Trump. I will help Donald Trump however I think that I can, Wolf, because if we allow this to happen, it's so much bigger and so much more troubling than Donald Trump. If we allow this standard that you can throw your political opponents in jail because they're doing better than you in an election, it will be the end of this country as we know it.
So you don't think this was a fair trial at all?
No, Wolf, I do not think it was a fair trial at all. And more importantly, again, everybody's focusing on Donald Trump. Understandably,
well, he's convicted now.
Understandably, but the principle that we're establishing applies across our politics. We're basically saying that if you don't like the outcome of an election or you don't like how an election is about to transpire, you can try to throw your opponent in jail. Wolf, the entire predicate here is a paperwork
organized
violation.
by Biden. This was a trial organized by New York City, the district attorney in Manhattan.
After the number 3 person in the Biden Department of Justice joined that prosecutor's office and then goes after Biden's political opponent, this absolutely is connected to Joe Biden, Wolf. Beyond that, you had Robert De Niro showing up at a Biden campaign rally on the day of jury instructions. This is politics written all over it.
Do you agree with Trump with what he just said? Because this jumped out at me. I thought it was obnoxious. When he said, we're living in a fascist state. Is the United States a fascist state?
Wolf, I served in Iraq in the United States Marine Corps. I have multiple family members.
Were you outraged when he said that, when Trump said that?
I am outraged at this entire proceeding,
but are you
Wolf, not
outraged
at
that
Donald Trump's criticism of it.
Trump is calling the United States of America, the greatest country in the world, a fascist state. Are you okay with that?
After the President of the United States uses the power of the courts and his power as president
that we live in a fascist
throw
state?
his opponents in jail, I think this is disgraceful. I don't care what you call it, Wolf.
Trump is disgraceful? Is that what you're saying?
I think this proceeding, this legal proceeding, is disgraceful.
But
Wolf.
what about Trump calling our country a fascist state?
They're trying to throw him in prison for a paperwork violation, Wolf.
By his peers.
After the judge gave those jury biased instructions, after that judge donated to Donald Trump's political opponent, of course he's going to be frustrated, and he has every right to be. I don't care what you call this, but this is not the America that I know and love. Why aren't we talking about inflation, Wolf? Why aren't we talking about Biden's wide open southern border?
We're talking about
this entire trial was cooked up to distract from Joe Biden's failures.
With all due respect.
Oh, good grief. You too, Wolf? I used to have a lot of respect for Wolf Blitzer. There's occasionally a time where journalists still have their integrity. Wolf Blitzer still has that for the most part. Unfortunately, he's out here trying to run point for CNN because their viewership outside of the Atlanta airport is a bunch of rich white liberals who have been just force-fed slop and believe the basic lies that they have been force-fed for about a decade and a half now. And so he's out there trying to get JD Vance, he's trying to catch him in a crossfire. He's trying to catch him in a fork move in chess. And Vance is not here for it. He's learned his lesson like Vivek Ramaswamy. He's learned how to deal with media. And that is never directly answer the question given because there's a bigger point to make. As a matter of fact, when George W. Bush was running for his first statewide election, he basically would move any question to his 4 main topics. It did not matter what the question was, he would slowly twist it into exactly what he wanted to talk about. This was a slow burn revolution in how to deal with media. Trump understands this at his core. He refuses to answer ridiculous questions. Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on. And the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. And for instance, when it comes to the matters of the Alvin Bragg case against Donald Trump, I actually need to apologize. I got something wrong the other day when I, on this channel, said that I think that this was not tainted by the Biden campaign. I was wrong. The number 3 prosecutor, I had forgotten this, on the in the Biden administration, left the administration to help Alvin Bragg go get Trump. This should be a national scandal that a member of your party, a member of the Democrat Party, a member of the Democrat coalition, a member of a Democrat administration left his cozy job, or her, I don't know who it is, left his job to go get his boss's political opponent. This is corruption at its finest, and it gets even worse. I had forgotten that the judge in this case, the judge's daughter, is a Democrat operative. I had forgotten that the judge donated to Democrat causes. This man needs to recuse himself from the case, and he won't because it's New York City. There is no saving New York. By the way, upstate New York, secede. All right, let New York to its fate. Y'all deserve better representation than the garbage that is going on in that town. I long for the days where Rudy Giuliani actually cleaned up the mess. Because New York used to be a cesspool. Now it's a political kangaroo court. And just because you've been convicted by a kangaroo court doesn't mean you're an Australian. Donald Trump was directly attacked by this court and by a district attorney who directly run on the campaign promise, I will get Trump. Y'all, I'm not a huge MAGA guy. I've never been. I knocked doors for him in 2020, but I've never been a huge fan. The reason I back him so fervently, and why JD Vance has done a 180, he used to be a never-Trumper. I used to be a never-Trumper. The moment I realized that I had to choose Trump, I could not sit on the sidelines anymore. It did not matter what policy he would pass. What mattered is I knew that the media was lying to me. When the Access Hollywood tapes came out as the October surprise, when it should have come out during the primary, Donald Trump should have been beaten in the Republican primary if the media had released the Access Hollywood tapes. The evangelical vote would have gone full gung-ho for Ted Cruz, and he would have beaten Hillary Clinton in a landslide. The reason I so fervently support Trump is simple. I know that the mainstream media lies to me on a daily basis. Even Fox News is having some problems recently. And ultimately, the media will use any tactic it can to cater to rich white liberals. And rich white liberals are just so detached from reality, so detached from society, that they'll believe any of the slop that Wolf Blitzer is trying to give them. So y'all, we're watching political corruption in real time. We're watching a mainstream media that the majority of people in America respect, that they really shouldn't respect. Y'all don't hate journalists enough. Okay, the reality is you shouldn't hate journalists. You should hate the editors and the producers that get on their headsets and whisper in the earpieces what to say and what not to say. Wolf Blitzer does have some integrity, but he is being told what kind of questions he needs to ask, although he's asking them in good faith. I trust journalists like Wolf Blitzer, and even Anderson Cooper, mainly because I trust Anderson Cooper to be Anderson Cooper. But I don't trust too many others in the mainstream media. I know Rachel Maddow lies to me constantly. And I guess it goes back to Jack Sparrow. I can always trust a man to be dishonest. I can always distrust a dishonest man because he is dishonest. Honestly, it's the honest ones you should look out for, because you never know when they're going to do something incredibly stupid. Yes, I butchered the line. But the reality is this. JD Vance does a fantastic job because he's dodging the obvious questions and talking about the truths and the narratives that the American people need to hear. He is doing the Lord's work on CNN, for just lack of better phrase. He is going into the lion's den and trying to get the people that are in their rich white ivory towers trying to get them to understand that there is a corrupt government and a corrupt administration that's trying to obfuscate an election process. The people have spoken in the primary system. They want Biden, they want Trump. Therefore, we're getting them in 2024. And of the two of them, I'm going to pick the guy who is a convicted felon over the man that has overseen the worst economic downturn since the recession in 2008. I have no choice. And I hope y'all understand that too. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.